For now, the arena sits empty. Soon, the seats will fill to capacity.
Yeah, the fans here in Atlanta are just nuts. You know, they go crazy.
A packed house will stand and scream for their heroes.
60,000 plus fans. It's awesome.
Hey, these Atlanta fans are insane. I'm ready to hear you guys get loud.
Monster Energy Supercross has returned to the Georgia Dome. Supercross may have been born in Southern California, but the Supercross fans in the Southeast are some of the sport's most passionate. The Georgia Dome is packed to the rafters, and these enthusiastic fans are pumped up to cheer for their favorite high-flying rider as Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship is in Atlanta, Georgia for live speed coverage of Round 8 of the 2009 championship season. Hi everybody, I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Speed's own Supercross Series champion Jeff Emig. The pre-race show is rocking the house right now. We're glad to have you with us for our second live broadcast of the 2009 season. And boy, do we have a great championship fight for you right now between two former champions, Chad Reed and James Stewart, tied atop the point standings, Jeff.
And believe me, Ralph, they know that this is a packed house. They know that we're live on Speed. They feed off of that energy. They're going to give us 100% of their effort tonight. I'm telling you, the racers are fired up.
Well, we're getting closer to dropping that first gate of the night, but before we do that, let's introduce you to the third member of our Speed crew here tonight. Here's Aaron Bates.
Well, guys, the atmosphere here in the Georgia Dome is absolutely electrifying. There are a full capacity crowd of over 60,000 fans chanting and cheering already for their favorite rider. They got to indulge in an energetic pit party earlier this afternoon. The riders are amped up and ready to go. You lucky viewers at home are lucky enough to be watching live, but the viewers here in the seats, not only do they get to see it, they get to feel the energy that's floating through this building.
Well, here he is, a 2007 champ, James Stewart, doing his own version of Bon Jovi. It's one of the highlights of the pre-race, and you get to see it every week at one of the Supercross events all across the country. Here's a look at the menu of what we have in store for you as our live coverage works its way through the evening. 4 heat races, 2 last chance qualifiers, and 2 main events. You'll see both the Supercross and the Supercross Lights classes in competition live here tonight. We got a really interesting feature for you as well about the relationship between the rider and his trainer. And we'll have a VIP pit pass for you as well. There he is, James Stewart, number 7, going for his 7th straight victory of the 2009 season. The fastest man on the planet being introduced to this rowdy crowd here in the Georgia Dome. When we come back to Atlanta, we'll put you on top of the helmet of Michael Byrne and take you for a lap here inside the Georgia Dome. Stay with us. Speed's live coverage of Supercross continues. Famous place to eat in this city, the Varsity, right down the street from the Georgia Dome. And we're back live inside the Georgia Dome. Opening ceremonies continuing. That's Chad Reed being introduced to the crowd as he was driven into the stadium. 2-time champ tied with James Stewart. And Jeff, as you take a look at this turf here in the Georgia Dome, it's probably the biggest difference from any of the other places we've seen so far with that red clay.
Oh yeah, the clay shapes up very nice. We have a very technical track here. These brave riders really have to exert and show a lot of courage because some of the rhythm sections that we're going to see are very technical and tricky. And here we go on board with Rockstar Makita Suzuki's Michael Byrne. That's over the finish line. This is down the start straight for the first time. This is going to be the first turn area. It's nice and wide and open. A little rhythm section here into the first 75-foot triple. He's going to make a 180. Now this is where the track gets difficult, Ralph. On off a very difficult triple in the middle, and you can see some of the dark lines and the ruts starting to form. That's when it gets even more difficult for the riders. The whoop section has been very challenging today. We've seen quite a few riders go down into another rhythm section. You're gonna have to triple right here. Maybe another triple before this on off, not really sure. A nice 75-foot triple at the end of the stadium. Great for the spectators there on your right. Then you hit this deep sand. Tricky with the Dragon's back. Another set of sand over the finish line. And that's a lap of the Georgia Dome with Michael Byrne.
And that's some of the sand you're more used to seeing when we get to Daytona International Speedway, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Not what you're used to seeing at a place like the Georgia Dome. Now you see Mike Gosler talking things over with his rider, Chad Reed, as they all get ready. And we had a chance to talk to some of the riders earlier today about their thoughts on racing here in the Georgia Dome.
It looks great. You know, I like the dirt. I think it's a lot more technical than Houston was, and so I think it's going to be a good racing track, and hopefully it'll be a good day.
Well, you know, a lot of people think this track is sticky. It's actually real slippery. You know, I think it's sticky in some spots, but it's actually slippery. I'm not a real big fan of the dirt, actually, and don't tell nobody. So, you know, I try not, just between me and you, all right?
You know, dirt's good red clay, some Georgia dirt right here, and you know, the fans, it's always a packed stadium. The stadium's always been really good, and always a lot of adrenaline in the stadium, so should get pumping tonight, and it should be good. You know, I'm really excited.
I think in years past, it was, you know, when I first got here, 02, 03, 04, it was, you know, kind of soft and real tacky. But over the last few years, it's actually got quite hard and become slick. So, you know, it's a tough track. We got a bit of everything, so that makes it fun. You know, from a rider's point of view, you got to, you know, be on your toes and choose good lines, and it makes it, you know, tough on the tire choices and everything like that. But you know, it just adds a little flavor to the race.
Well, the opening ceremony is continuing down on the floor of the stadium as you watch James Stewart talking things over with his mechanic. This opening ceremony that you're seeing here is exactly what happens at each and every round. If you've never been to a Supercross event, all that pyro, the rider interviews, all that stuff takes place before they drop the gate. And then when they do drop the gate, Jeff, this is what it looks like. Some of the best high-flying antics you'll find anywhere. Tonight, the guys will be scraping their heads on the roof of the Georgia Dome.
Oh, it's going to be an incredible night. I'm telling you, the atmosphere, the energy is here. It's off the hook.
And so are the people. The Georgia Dome is packed, and Speed is here for live Supercross. Glad to have you with us. Heat race of the night. Before we do that, we got a trivia question for you tonight. Time now for the Speed Trivia Challenge, a chance for you to win a 32-gigabyte Apple iPod Touch. And here's today's question. Who won the first Atlanta Supercross main? Was it the Osho, Johnny O'Mara, the Hurricane, Bob Hanna, Ricky Johnson, or the Beast from the Southeast, David Bradshaw? To enter, either text your answer number 1, 2, 3, or 4 to Speed 3. That's 773333. Standard texting rates apply, or you can log on to speedtv.com, keyword SX. The winner will receive a 32-gigabyte Apple iPod Touch. Stay tuned to the end of tonight's show, and we'll give you the correct answer. Good luck. Let's check in with Aaron Bates for Progressive Pre-Race Support.
After getting third in Houston, it was off to a tough start today for the number 20 of Nico Izzy. He ended up having a brutal crash during second practice through the whoop section. He said he's battered and he's bruised and his back is extremely sore, but he's going to do whatever it takes to power through this heat.
Yeah, Izzy took a really tough fall, Aaron, and actually Brett Metcalf crashed in the first qualifying practice in this same exact spot. We believe that he has a broken collarbone, so he definitely is out for racing tonight. Yeah.
And Jeff, as we take a look at Nico here, we talked about how the track is for the Supercross bikes, for the lights bikes, even tougher in some of these sections.
Yeah, the rhythm sections were, but the whoop section, because of the long spacing between the whoops, that's what really was tough for these lights riders. They've smoothed some out since then, so much better. That's
a great shot from our camera, which is literally mounted on the ceiling here of the dome. You can see our Yamaha starting lineup going across the top of the screen. Matt Gerke is in here. Blake Morton, one of the rookies in the class. Very fast rider.
Yeah, definitely. Stroop was the fastest qualifier that's in this heat. Davalos, Izzy, Gerke, or Morton there, actually. This heat race is stacked. This East Coast is very competitive.
And if you've been watching with us on a regular basis, you've seen the majority of the West Coast season already. They still have a couple rounds to go. They're on a break. They've had one round of East Coast competition, which took place in Houston. They had a few weeks off. Now they're back at it. Christophe Purcell was the guy that won that opening round. So a lot of these guys tonight starting to feel that pressure, Jeff. They got to get back on it because you only get 8 races.
Well, and so they have 7 in a row. So this really is, you know, this is the series. The one was kind of like like a pre-race, type
appetizer.
of thing. But now this is where, you know, they had a chance to sort it out, figure out where they're at. Now this is where the championship chase starts. A 981 Austin Stroop. He needs to get back into this, and I definitely think he's one of the favorites for the night.
And one of the, well, actually the longest start straight we've seen all season. And when you get inside these big football fields, you can utilize all 100-plus yards from one end zone to the other. Here we go. Heat number 1, Supercross lights. Starting to stack them up at the top of the berm. Down go 2 riders. And into the rhythm section we go. The 719 of Vince Freeze jumps into the early lead.
Wow, what a great start by Freeze. This is the way to start a Supercross lights, man. Oh, it's Austin Stroop to the inside.
Stroop is on that green Kawasaki, the Monster Energy Pro Circuit bike. He comes bar to bar through the whoops and takes the lead away.
And you can see just how difficult it was for these lights bikes. And 250cc 4-stroke machines are just struggling to get through.
Oh, and Jeff, look at how they're struggling through that triple section there. Nico Izzy on that number 20 already having a rough night, and Jeff, he even had a tougher time through this opening corner.
Yeah, and you see Izzy here go flying off the bike. This is his bike. Izzy's way over here. Let's take a second look here. Focus on the yellow number 20. He's on the inside. As he comes through, I think he gets hit from the side, and his right hand actually comes off of the bike. So 2 hard falls for Nico Izzy here today. Not the way he wanted to start the second round of this championship, where he's one of the favorites.
So the Rockstar Makita Suzuki rider Izzy will go straight to the last chance qualifier. As you watch Stroop, the lead. Here's a battle for second. Give that to Davalos now, the 577. The rider on the KTM, Martin, takes over that position in the heat races. As you see the names scrolling across the top of the screen there, top 9 highlighted in green. Those are the transfer spots straight to the main. Everybody else to the LCQ.
Yeah, and this first heat is pretty shaken up from what the qualifying times are. Like we said, we have Izzy out. We have Blake Morton, one of our faster qualifiers, way back in 16th right now. And you've got Freeze, Kilbarger, Carey running inside the top 5. Just phenomenal starts.
Aaron. Back up to watching Kilbarger on that 412. Kilbarger having a good run. And let's check in one more time with Aaron.
Well, guys, a rough night to say the least for Nico Izzy. Nico, this day is not going as planned. What exactly took place there?
I don't know. I just came out of the turn, I rode the jumps, and I landed on. There's nothing I could do. I mean, it's crazy. It's just not having a good night so far.
Regroup, muster up. We'll see you in the LCQ.
Jeff, that first corner, really just chaos. Oh, and one rider goes down here as that battle for those final positions continue. That was Levi Kilbarger who had gotten the whole shot, and the 412 now struggling to stay inside that top 9.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he needs to do. Top 9 goes straight to the main event. The rest go to the LCQ. More riders down.
2 riders down right there. That's going to help him maybe gather a couple of those positions back. That's right before the finish line jump. One of those looks like it's the 130 machine down right there. That's Kyle Keelan.
And Kilbarger comes across the stripe in 7, so he made up those positions that he lost.
That was also Kyle Gillis on the 521.
And watch this here.
That's Kilbarger going down.
And that was Durham that just came in and cleaned him out. Now the sand section finally bites one rider.
Yeah, it gets Gillis right there first.
Gillis, yeah, and it just swallows up the next. Okay. Clear sailing for 981 here. Austin Stroop absolutely on rails right now.
He's He's got that Launch Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki just humming along beautifully right now at the front of this one. Remember, this is just a 6-lap race, 2 to go. This is a battle for 5th position. Carey, Carl, and Gerke going at it in here.
Gerke to the inside. Is he going to make? Oh, not quite enough.
Gerke is on the 34 machine. Coming up alongside fellow Yamaha or Suzuki rider.
And you just see yellow flags flying everywhere. We've heard it from all of the riders. There as Gerke gets past, it's just this track is so difficult and so technical. We've seen a lot of riders on the ground here so far tonight.
And they've already caught up to a couple of riders in front of them, including Durham and Freeze. So what was a battle for 5th is really quickly becoming a battle for 3rd. And look how deep this sand is here tonight, Jeff.
Gerke nails that Dragon's back, and he actually jumps into the next sand section, gains quite a bit of time. That's going to put him right up on the back of Freeze, who's had an incredible heat race here so far. Can he hold on for 4th?
And Freeze is still in the transfer position, even if he loses this spot to Gerke. Right now they're fighting over 4th as the white flag is out the final lap. Oh, Gerke gets slung off the bike. He's going to lose 2 positions. There goes Kilbarger by. There goes another one. Oh, and he's going to fall right out of a transfer spot.
Wharton was in 10th.
Checkered flag goes to Austin Stroop. He'll take the win. Here's a fight for the transfer. Look at this. Coming towards the line, and that's Wharton on the 61. Looks like he might actually get it. Wharton, who had a terrible start, and Blake is suddenly maybe going to find himself in a transfer position as he gets around Hackley.
This is going to be close because Gerke gave up that spot.
He's just got to get through that sand section, and it looks like Wharton will avoid going to the last chance qualifier. Here they come. And the final spot, Wharton's actually going to get 8th. Hackley will get 9th, and Gerke doesn't get the transfer.
Wow, just a little gift there from Matt for Hackley there and Wharton just sneaking in. But no problems for Austin Stroop. He is really dialed in here tonight. He looked fantastic in qualifying practice, looked flawless in this heat race.
Let's watch and see what happened to Gerke.
And watch the front wheel wash out as he gets on the throttle to exit the turn. As he hammers the throttle, it took some of that weight off of the front tire and just knifed it. Then once it caught, it just flipped him in there. Take a second look at it. Really watch the front wheel break loose right there. Then it sticks. Right at this moment, Matt knows that he's going to the LCQ. He's disappointed because he was putting in a really great ride to get into that, inside of the qualifying positions.
And Stroop a second faster than Davalos or anybody else in the field for that matter with a 50 flat. A good best effort.
Definitely, and we're going to have to see how this second heat plays out because fastest qualifier, Christoph Purcell, his teammate, he's in the next one. So this really is the battle between these two Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders.
Well, here's Aaron.
Well, guys, wasting no time taking over the lead. Austin, 2 for 2 heat race wins for you so far this season. What does it mean to you to finally be able to get that first race of the season out of the way and be a little bit more calmer to come in for this round?
It's good. I like, it's good for me confidence-wise, and winning a little bit and leading races, it just helps me out every time, and it's been great. Just my sponsors, my Parts Unlimited, Thor, Maxima, Bridgestone, Scott, Vans, Terminal Velocity, Monster, Thor, Parts Unlimited, my trainer Michael, my family, thank you.
Congratulations on your heat race win.
Well, he keeps riding like that. He's getting a lot of practice getting those names out, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's the bikes for Heat 2 in the game. We'll have that one for you when we come back. Welcome back inside the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. There's the board that says heat number 2 as we get set to drop the gate. Look for 9 more riders to go straight to the main. Now, Jeff, you're sitting here in heat number 2. You're in the gate. You had a chance to watch heat number 1. You saw those guys crashing. If you're a rider like the 377 and Christoph Purcell, does that add to the intention?
Well, it definitely does, but that's what a good rider does is he will see those spots, try to figure out where you need to avoid, and try to keep the nerves down. That's what, makes the cream rise to the top. That's why the best guys are the best, because they can control that, take in that information, and actually do something productive with it.
There's a 96 of Tyler Wharton. That's Blake Wharton's brother. We just saw Blake in heat number 1. Now we get ready for heat number 2.
trade, and it's a battle.
Purcell going for the lead early in the green. On that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and he's got the spot, and we stack him up in that corner as well. And boy, they better hurry up, because Purcell's going to try to get this field in a hurry.
And that was Saylor who actually had the whole shot. He's fourth now coming through the whoop section, just behind Lemoyne here, 41 on the Yamaha.
And Matt is chasing Stephen Clark on the 77. They're battling for second. They go bar to bar through the rhythm section and give it to Matt Lemoyne now, who takes second away from Clark.
Lemoyne actually was our fourth fastest qualifier today. Really has been agreeing with this Yamaha, just turning in phenomenal rides here. Oh, he's off close to the edge. Did you? Whew, that was close to the Parts Unlimited tough block. I thought he was shot off to the left.
Back underway into the rhythm section. Skied over the big triple. Tabletop back into the rhythm section.
And this was one of those rhythm sections I was talking about during the onboard, is that it was tough for that middle triple, which is the fast line. Lights guys could triple out. Here's a replay of that start, and see Christophe Pourcel, 377, stays on the inside. Saylor comes around with the whole shot. A number of riders way off the back.
And then Jeff, we had a crash at the other end of the stadium.
Well, it was easy. You can see there that the 309 just gets stacked up. That's Dolly. He actually had that great start, but he turned down, and that's the inexperience of a lights rider. You know that if you're in that position, that there's going to be a lot of guys come up the inside, so you need to roll around the top side of the berm and keep yourself out. He tried to cut down in this same turn right here, and that's where everybody bottled up.
That was Spencer Dolly on the Blame Brothers Honda, and now we're back to watching Christophe Pourcel.
And this is something that we might get used to, is Pourcel out there riding perfect laps. Today in qualifying practice on a very technical, difficult track. Pourcel did lap after lap, perfect laps, never changed his line, figured out the track early on in the first practice and stuck with it. He is the man to beat here tonight.
And what a great night so far from Matt Lemoyne. I know it's early, but Jeff, he was 18th at Houston, running second now in the heat race here behind Pourcel. A great confidence booster for Matt Lemoyne.
Well, and you can see it in his riding style right there also. He's very confident on the bike here this weekend. I've been really impressed with him in qualifying practice. Now he's got a great start. He gets a chance to see Pourcel out front, possibly follow his lines or at least pace him.
That's Will Hahn on the 50, who has just taken over 6th place. Hahn had a 6th place finish in the main event at Houston, which again was the opening round for the East Coast Series a few weeks back. Back into that whoop section. There you see Hahn, and Hahn right now is chasing Brandon Jessamine.
That's Blair, the 125. Daniel Blair, he's running an 8th. And then it's Liebert just to the left of him for a second.
Here they go. So one rider down, and that stacks them both up. 3 riders down in that one corner, and everybody comes sailing by. Lieber on that 779, at least he gets up and going. And that 125 of Blair is in the middle of it. He can't get started. That's him right there.
And that's Grady, who was in the qualifying position. Mark Grady dumps it on that left-hander and swallows up Blair. Oh, what a... and Blair and Lieber. Let's watch a replay here.
There goes Hahn.
See there, he gets high and loses the front tire right up here. Just gets too close to the tough blocks. Lieber and Blair. And so heartbreaking because Lieber just makes the pass for the final qualifying position. And you see both riders having trouble starting these machines.
And Teddy Parks took the right line. He went to the bottom and slid right through there. And now he's sitting up in 7th and a comfortable transfer spot. And we're on the final lap. Christophe Pourcel.
Very comfortable.
Looking great here tonight. Trying to pick up right where he left off in Houston.
Well, remember, Christophe Pourcel, he's a former world motocross champion, so this young Frenchman knows how to win races. He knows how to train and prepare himself, and he has tons of drive.
And Jeff, we haven't even seen him racing here in the States in a good year and a half, almost 2 full seasons. Horrendous injuries he had to battle back from. Got himself back to condition. We'll have a long night to talk about it. Here comes Pourcel to the checkered flag as he has won heat number 2. and continues on that road to recovery in the best way possible by seeing the checkered flag first. Purcell wins Heat 2. He's going straight to the main. Has plenty of time to get himself ready for that now, where he'll battle with his teammate. Purcell's still riding hard, even though he's already taken the checkered flag.
He might have been just too focused, not even seeing the checkered flag.
That would be my guess, because he's still shredding this place. By the mechanics area, maybe his mechanic get the board out there. Hey, he's up, buddy, you've already got it. Wharton's going to join his brother in the main. Ripple's going to get the final transfer spot, and everybody else goes that last chance qualifier where we'll get our final 2 riders later on tonight. Purcell's going to do a whole nother lap.
Well, that was once again an exciting heat race, and what is the theme of tonight? Stay out of trouble. We have seen so many riders down as Purcell throws down a 50.4, his best lap time.
Yeah, but 0.4 of a second slower than his teammate Austin Stroop.
Okay, maybe the track
just
changed,
saying.
maybe the track. Hey,
Don't judge me. I'm
definitely
just saying.
the Cowie guys are on it, no doubt about it.
It's going to be a good night. Well, that sand was tricky, Jeff. As you take a look at the top 9, Brian Johnson, the first of those not going straight to the main, instead to the last chance qualifier. Brandon Jessman's gone, though. He's in 6th. Will Hahn moved himself all the way up to 4th. He's got a good pick of the gate.
Hey, Clark and Lemoyne in the 3rd and 2nd. Both those riders put on great heat rides, showed some serious speed. Take a look at this here in this sand section. See Lieber just having more problems, and you know he was in a qualifying spot at that point, and you know that left glove, Ralph, is just full of sand.
It's like Dakar deep sand. You know, once you're down there, it's hard to get up. Well, Aaron, it's great when you get to the top of the podium, though.
He was so amped up and so excited about that heat race that he actually didn't even see the finish line. Purcell, you ended up just going off and doing a whole extra lap.
Yeah, I know. I think I got the lapper, and I was good on the bike, good on the track, and I got one more lap.
Christophe Purcell picking up right where he left off in Houston here with a heat race win.
There he is, Christophe Purcell, getting real comfortable at the top step of that podium.
Confident.
Yeah, there's a lot of confident guys down there now because the big bikes are next. The Supercross class. You saw Ryan Villapoto. You saw Chad Reed. Heat 1 for Supercross is up next, live on Speed. To drop the gate for the 31st time on an AMA Supercross race here in Atlanta. You know, they used to race over in the old Fulton County Stadium. Damon Bradshaw, nicknamed the old Beast from the Southeast, from up in Charlotte, won the last race held over at Fulton County Stadium on a Yamaha. You were probably in that race, weren't you, Jeff?
I was there. I probably got lapped. Definitely. He was so fast.
Well, every Tuesday night on Speed, get into the world of Superbikes with host Jason Brent and see Jason and the team. Of course, some of the wildest sport bike stunts, the riders from all over the world. 2 wheels, 1 love. Check out all new episodes of Superbikes with Jason Brent Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Let's check in with Aaron Bates.
Well, guys, the top 5 finish streak came to an end for the number 33 of Josh Grant last weekend after he ended up crashing through a rhythm section and taking the handlebar to the throat. He was taken to the local hospital for precautionary purposes. His glands started to swell. He was having some difficulty breathing. He is just fine. He didn't ride at all this week, and he said the goal is the same. He's expecting a top 5 finish tonight.
And you see Josh Grant on the 33.
Certainly has shown some speed. There's no doubt about it.
I talked to Jeremy Albrecht, team manager for the JGR motocross crew, and they said actually the first time he got on the track was at press day here, which would have been Thursday.
Yeah, and another rider that's shown a tremendous amount of speed is a 911 here. Tyler Bowers on this Moto Concepts Honda was a privateer at the beginning of the year, picked up the ride with Moto Concepts last week, 10th fastest qualifier here today, so Bowers on the gas.
And that Moto Concepts team, Jeff, has really been coming on strong this season. They've been putting together some pretty impressive runs. And you take a look at our Honda starting lineup.
Well, they have some great riders. They have Ben Coisy, Daniel McCoy, Jeff Alessi. Okay, so we're going to see a couple of those riders here in this heat race. So Jeff Alessi will be in this one along with Bowers.
And this is Jeff Alessi's Supercross debut. His brother Mike, one of the stars of the Supercross class, riding for the Rockstar Makita Suzuki squad. But Jeff now making the move up.
From the lights,
From the lights, yep. There he is, right there. Here we go. Chad Reed did just what he had to do. Get a great hole shot started. Look at the reigning champ disappearing.
How about it, Ralph? This is the weak link of Chad Reed's series so far. Makia Suzuki riders have got it dialed in here. This is what he's been practicing. Now he executes it in this first heat.
Ryan Villapoto tucks into second place on that number 2 Monster Energy Kawasaki. It looks like it's Grant on the Joe Gibbs Racing number 33, Yamaha in third, and Josh Hill on the factory Yamaha right there, number 75, back in fourth. But Reed, Jeff, as we've talked about, has really struggled with his starts. He keeps telling us, I'm working on it, I'm working on it. We saw him spending some time talking things over with his teammate, Michael Lessie, who is unquestionably the best starter in the field. Maybe he's finally figured something out.
Well, and I think that it's Chad working together with the team, and them, you know, Suzuki has a fuel-injected bike this year. Maybe it's a situation where they're trying to adjust the power to, you know, to get it to, you know, suit his style. But also Ryan Villapoto, he is on the gas here in Atlanta also. This is another rider that, this is his first season on the 450cc machine. We saw him win numerous races and a championship as a light Supercross rider, but now jumping up to the big bike, there's also a progression with him, just like Chad Reed this year. Maybe Atlanta, switch to the East Coast is where these two riders come on and really make a charge at that win streak that James Stewart's been on.
Talking things over with Mike Fisher, team manager for the factory Kawasaki squad, which Ryan Villapoto rides for. He said, you know, as you look from high above the stadium floor here in a RoboCam, he said with Ryan Villapoto, he seems to be putting a lot of pressure on himself because as a team, we don't put any pressure on him. We're just very happy to let him develop and grow. But he says Villapoto wants to win so badly right now, and he knows there's so much expectation for him, and he's really piling the pressure on himself.
Well, winners work extremely hard, and they expect to win every time they go out. They don't go through all of that training, all that pain and agony that it takes, and all this risk in doing what they do to finish second or third or fourth. That's why it's been so frustrating for Chad Reed this year. He's been second 6 times in a row.
Josh Hill, who got his first career victory just a year ago in Minneapolis at the Metrodome, he's on number 75, and right behind him is his stablemate, Brock Hepler, and boy, is it good to see him back as they're being chased by Tim Ferry on the other factory Kawasaki, and Hepler has gone through so many injuries, Jeff, and then wadded it up big time again last week in San Diego. We thought he was going right back off to the sidelines.
Yeah, you talk about pain. Hepler's been through it. He's had so many injuries stack up back to back to back. But Hepler has that ability to rebound from those, and he's a quick starter when he comes back. Last week in San Diego, he was riding awesome. He did have a pretty tough get-off, hit that hard San Diego dirt, and he said he was pretty surprised that, you know, that he didn't break a bone in that. But now he's back after it. Another great start here in this heat race, and he's looking at a spot to the main event.
I talked to his team manager as well earlier today, Jim Perry, who told me, boy, we're very happy to see him back, and he felt so bad about the crash in San Diego because he said this is one of the best years for Brock as far as his preseason training had gone. He said he's in some of the best shape we've seen. He was really ready to go racing this year.
Well, and it's that type of preseason training is what allows him to rebound, to come off of an injury and get right back into it. It's kind of like building a foundation, you know, like if you would build it like a pyramid, you know, you've really got that foundation to actually rely on.
The one pyramid that Chad Reed needs, training, no problem. Fast, no problem. Momentum. Jeff, that's the one thing he needs on his pyramid right now. And this, a dominating performance in a heat race and a great start like he had for the whole shot, might be just what the doctor ordered for Chad Reed.
Well, it definitely is. And Chad Reed, I think, has been so close to the lead, although the momentum shift is definitely in James Stewart's camp right now. But it only takes that one hole shot, that one little bit of luck to change the whole course of the season. I certainly had seasons where at the beginning, you know, I had a hard time winning midway through. Well, let's take a look at this replay here. Look at the Chad Reed just absolutely shoots out of the gate like he's been shot out of a cannon and manages to keep it to the inside or the middle of the inside around there, which he's going to have to do in the main event if he wants to nab the whole shot.
Jeff, that was a picture-perfect start for Chad Reed. And, you know, when I talked to Mike Gosler, his mechanic, earlier today, they were really struggling with the setup on that bike, especially the suspension, which is a key component to being able to shoot out of the gate like that.
Well, and it's more so than anything, you've said it before, us Supercross riders, we're mental, okay? And it's all about confidence. It's belief in yourself, belief in your equipment. And actually, Chad Reed gained a little bit of confidence right then. He's like, wait a second, I can do this. I did have great starters in this heat race. Josh Grant, some of those guys who really get off the gate good, and I just executed my start like I wanted. That's what I want to do in the main event.
I walked part of the track today with Chad during the rider walk around, and he was telling me, because I really love these football stadiums as the white flag comes out, because you have all these long sections, and at the end of each lane is a 180-degree turning, because I really like those. Something about it fits with his style.
Well, and Chad is one of the best ever at doing this, flipping the bike around, then nailing a really tricky rhythm section. This triple right there in the middle, see, he just came up a little short. He's been making it look easy all heat race long, but that section is anything but easy. And if he had came up about 3 inches shorter, he might have gone over the bars. That's how close the riders have to land the tires and everything to execute this stuff perfectly.
Let me tell you something, a little short for Chad Reed, which he rides through, would have put me in traction for about 6 months. Chad Reed, unbelievably talented, the great Australian rider. Checkered flag, and Chad Reed wins his 4th heat race of the 2009 season. Now, can he take it on to the main event? Villapoto's going to go. Remember, the top 9 transfer. They're going to be the first 9 you see. Grant's going, Hill's going. Hepler, he's going to go join Reed, who's feeling it now as he gives a thumbs up to the huge crowd here.
And remember, 4th place, Josh Hill, he didn't make the main event last week after being 3rd fastest qualifier, so that is a big weight off of the factory Yamaha rider's shoulders.
How about Bowers taking the Moto Concept guys straight to the main?
I'm telling you, Tyler Bowers is on it here.
They are here to play. That team is really coming on strong. Chad Reed, the red plate with the white number 1, because he is a reigning champ, 2-time champ. Won it in 04 and 08. Looking to do it again in 09.
If I'm Chad Reed, that's exactly what I needed here.
Jeff Alessi just missed it in his debut in the Supercross class. Instead, he's going to go to the last chance qualifier. Maybe he'll make the transfer from there.
And get a little more airtime on our live broadcast here, right?
A little more practice, too. Probably couldn't hurt him, actually. Not a bad idea, really.
I don't know. I still like going through the
straight through is much easier, yeah. Yeah. Just gives you a little more time for the nerves to build up, though, right? Well, Aaron, it has been since Houston, if you can believe it, since Chad Reed has won a heat race.
But definitely finally deserved. Chad Reed just executed a start that he has been working on all season long. Chad, is that all it's going to take to stop James Stewart's win streak tonight?
I mean, that's going to definitely help, and James is riding amazing tonight, and it's up to me to take that next step, twist the throttle and try to take him on. And, I want to thank all the guys at Rockstar, Makita Suzuki. They're doing an amazing job. The bike's awesome tonight, and it's up to me. No excuses. Twist the throttle and win. It's easy, right?
Chad Reed, he's a warrior. He never gives up.
Look at those eyes, Jeff. A couple of weeks ago, you and I both talked about how it looked a little empty in there because he was feeling a little down. He wasn't admitting it, but he was feeling a little down. And now tonight, the sparkle is back.
Much better right now.
Look
if
at
I'm
that.
Chad Reed, I'm very confident. But I'm going to pay real close attention to this next heat.
You think? What would that be?
Lines and all that.
Number 7? Yeah, the man he has finished second to over the last 6 rounds is right there. The fastest man on the planet when we come back. The AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. And as always here on Speed, you're getting to see it in high definition. And what a great sport to present to you in HD. Supercross just booming. Look at the crowd here tonight. Packed to the rafters here in the Georgia Dome. Getting ready for heat number 2. And in this one, we get to see for the first time tonight the guy they call the fastest man on the planet, James Stewart.
There's no doubt he's going to show us exactly how he earned that title. He's going to give us a little free riding clinic here in this moto.
Well, Reed ran a 48.1, so we'll see how quick Stewart is. Look at this, 41 straight heat wins. His last loss was Houston in 05, and he's never lost as number 7. But, Jeff, it's that last stat I think that's so impressive.
20 wins by 10 seconds or more. 8-lap heat race, 10 seconds or more. That's more than 1 second a lap faster than second place. So he's on fire.
Then you see our Honda starting lineup scrolling across the top of the screen. The 30-second board is off the track, and here we go. James Stewart with the whole shot. He even beat Mike Alessi, who's in this one, and Alessi's arguably the best hole shotter in the field.
Ivan Tedesco on the Honda. He's in there in second.
Boy, look at Stewart just rail through that corner, and there's Tedesco right behind him on the red number 9, the Honda factory rider.
Another Honda Koizi there, Moto Concepts rider.
There's that Moto Concepts team again right up in there. I saw Andrew Short coming through as they blast past the mechanics area.
Boy, Tedesco really has been on fire this year. He had a couple of off races here, the last couple, but really this season, Ivan Tedesco has agreed with this new Honda. He's motivated here tonight at the Georgia Dome. And like I said, these riders, they know that there's a packed house. They know that we're live on speed. So we're going to see some great effort out of these Supercross racers.
And Jeff, you and I talked with Ivan earlier today during the rider walk around, and he's feeling pretty good. He knows he's done his homework this year. He's ready to go. It's just a matter of connecting the dots and putting a whole race together. And if he can come out with a solid second place finish behind Stewart here in heat number 1, you can already see the gap that he's built. That's got to be some good momentum for him. But look at Reed and his mechanic, Mike Gosler, who used to be the mechanic to the great Ricky Carmichael. Took him to a few championships. Those two watching their number 1 rival.
Well, and Gosler spent a few years with Carmichael figuring out all of Stewart's weaknesses, you know, figuring out how to beat this rider. They were pretty successful. Stewart mounted some charges, but Carmichael always came out on top in the end of the championships.
You know, and in talking with Reed, one of the things he told me, he goes, I know what Stewart's weakness is, and I know how to push that button. His problem has been he just hasn't been able to get up to him to do it.
Well, and this is a great example of why he hasn't been able to, because Stewart this year, his starts have been superb. His laps have been even better, and the finishes, you know, have been right up front. And it was only at that opening race where Chad really got a chance to pressure him. They switched it back and forth. Stewart made the mistake. Both riders went down. Since then, we have not seen that type of battle.
Here we go, a little deeper in the field. That's Mike Alessi in yellow on the Rockstar Makita Suzuki. He's chasing Koizi, and he's got Millsaps, who won here a year ago, in the fight with him on the 18. And that's all back in around 3rd. And that's also Andrew Short there in the 29.
So very competitive here between about 3rd through 7th. You see Kevin Windham, he's just sneaking up as you look at the hat, look across the top of the hat. This is how Millsaps gets by. This is Alessi's weak point. I've talked to him about 2 hours before the heats here. I said, Mike, it's all the entry speed into the whoops. This is what you have to work on.
He's going to lose another spot there as Andrew Short, another one of the Red Bull Honda factory riders, gets by him. And Alessi just does not look as smooth through the whoops, Jeff. And now he's got to deal with the Geico Power Sports machine, the number 14, Kevin Windham, coming in quickly.
Well, he's just got a whole train of Hondas here. It was Millsaps.
There he goes. He's coming right alongside of him. Side by side over that big jump into the sand. Boy, he gets a little roosted, does Windham.
Just a mouthful of sand there when you're following a rider, I'm telling you. So Windham to the outside. Can he square him up? That's that classic Supercross final turn. The only difference is it's a real short straight there to get to the first turn.
They took 2 different lines through there as we now take a look at the 54 Matt Bonney. Look at Windham trying to the outside, and then Alessi comes right back with him, but it looks like Wyndham's got him, and I think when they get through the whoops, he'll definitely secure that spot.
Well, then look who's sneaking up behind. Matt Bonney also, he really has put together some incredible efforts this year, having to work with the team that's been, you know, struggling with the machines. Bonney's really had to knuckle down and just do the best he can with his equipment. I've been really proud of him this year. He's put in some great rides.
And Mike Alessi's got to get going. He's already dropped back to 7th. And remember, Jeff, just a top 9 transfer. He's going to find himself in the LCQ racing with his brother.
So here's Windham, the veteran, one of the crowd favorites. We've seen him in this same first turn area during the opening ceremonies here tonight. Does that classic nose wheelie that just has all the fans here at Atlanta just on their feet cheering.
Meanwhile, back to James Stewart. Jeff, his best lap, a 47.8. Chad Reed, a 48.1.
Pretty quick. Pretty quick. But
does that take all the wind out of the sails that Reed had pumped up there with that heat wind?
No, because we're only talking about 0.4 of a second. You know, Stewart has been about a half a second a lap faster here this weekend. what Chad's going to need is a great start and to try to get out front by himself. But let's also don't count out second place in that first heat was Filippoto, and he was only at 48.5, so he was pretty quick also.
We did see James Stewart have a problem earlier this day, but Aaron, how's Chad feeling about watching Stewart right now?
Well, guys, Chad Reed is anxiously watching James Stewart win his heat race. Chad, what is it that you're looking for when you're watching James right now?
You know, just watching lines and seeing where he's going, see where he passes the lappers, and just, James is amazing. I mean, I love watching the guy ride, and the track's getting really tough out there. It's a lot of traction and a lot of loose stuff on top, so you got to be real careful not to get caught out.
They're competitors, but it's camaraderie all the same.
I think mutual respect is a fair way of putting it, Jeff.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, he is so complimentary, and you earn that type of stuff. But look at Wyndham, right in the middle.
All Honda through here. You got the 29 of Short and Wyndham, and then Coisy in there.
But Coisy actually held he was in front of those riders. He was in fourth the last lap around. Short and Wyndham both get by, as Short and Wyndham are really digging deep here on the last lap of the heat race. This is both riders are in qualifying position, but you get a better gate pick with the better finishing position in your heat race, and that's why these guys are battling bar to bar here with less than a half a lap to go.
Fighting over fourth place, it's Stewart, Tedesco, Millsaps, Short, Wyndham, Coisy. Checkered flag coming out. James Stewart takes the win in heat number 2 convincingly, as we continue to watch the battle for fourth, which is tightened up. Short on the 29. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble in the sand, and here comes Wyndham. Wyndham's going to be on the outside. Who's going to get to the line? It goes to Short. Tedesco, Millsap, Short, Wyndham. And guess what? James Stewart won this one by 11.4 seconds. So again, in this 8-lap heat race, he's over 10 seconds.
He is absolutely flying tonight. Chad Reed is really going to, well, Chad Reed and the other riders, I should say, are really going to have to dig deep, but the points battle is tied up right between James Stewart and Chad Reed. So we're going to have some fireworks going off, and more than opening ceremonies. I think we're going to have some in the main event also.
And for Reed, that's his, or for Stewart, I should say, that's his 8th heat win of the year. He's got one every week. Charles Summey be the first rider out of this heat to go to the LCQ. And Michael Lessie just held on to 7th, so he avoids going to the last chance qualifier. So the fans here enjoying the heat races. Next up, we'll be showing you some last chance qualifier action for both classes, and that'll fill out the fields for our 2 main events coming up a little later on tonight. And boy, Aaron, if you look at the top 7 or so names, they're all Hondas except for this guy.
This guy, indeed, and he makes it look so easy out there with that heat race, but even he fell victim to this tricky track tonight in the sand section. James, how difficult and technical is tonight's track?
Well, Atlanta's always technical because it's slippery and rutted at the same time, and I feel good. I got my Samuel Yamaha working really good, and I'm excited about the main event. We just gotta do what we do best and try to hold on.
Congratulations on 8 for 8 heat race wins.
And the $1 million smile right there with him, ready to go. James Stewart. He'll go back, talk things over. Larry Brooks and the crew, San Manuel Yamaha squad will get him ready, and they'll come back. Chad Reed, he's got a win. So does Stewart. They're going to get ready for main events. We're going to get set for the last chance qualifier for the lights when Speed returns live to the Georgia Dome. Well, these folks just got done watching some heat races, and next up is the last chance qualifiers. And our final 2 positions in each of our main events will come out of those. Wednesday and on all-new Drag Race High, the Wildcats struggle for sponsorships, and a prank pulled on the Bulldogs puts the entire show in jeopardy. Don't miss an all-new episode of Drag Race High on Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed. There you see the riders in the gate for the Supercross Lights East Coast Last Chance qualifier. And you know, Jeff, we talked about how the Lights guys are the guys on the way up, like Nico Izzy. Well, both Chad Reed and James Stewart have won here in both classes.
Yeah, so Izzy Izzy trying to be one of those riders. You got to win the lights before you get to the Supercross, and Izzy has had a tough night.
Oh yeah.
It was his mistake in qualifying practice in that in the heat race. He got landed on. So this is where the tough get going type of thing. This is where he really has to focus, and it's all about getting the start, staying clean, right, going around that first turn. So there's some pretty heavy hitters in this Lights East Championship. Gerke and Izzy, both these guys in here. Gerke's way off to the right side.
Do you have an idea? Do you think there's a position in the gate that's going to be better than another for tonight?
Yeah, you definitely want to be left of the center box. And
the doghouse?
Yeah, and you see right here Daniel Blair, who had a great position. Gerke, both these guys line up way on the inside.
Boy, a long gate.
A long hold. There's something wrong here.
No, and everybody's backed up. You saw the girl holding up the 30-second board. When that goes down, anytime after that with the 30, they can go and drop it down. Well, that had to mess some guys up mentally. Obviously, it hurt one guy with mechanical issues. Down go a couple of riders. A couple more go down. They're falling everywhere. And it is not Nico Izzy getting the whole shot. So his night's gotten even worse. He's inside the top 5, it looks like. The 395, 385, I believe that's Gully.
Izzy back to 6. Now he's back up. You see Izzy at the top of your screen in the yellow bike.
Oh, the 72 struggling through there. That's a big problem for him. That's Brian Johnson. But it's Gully, Adam Gully on that 385 that has the whole shot in the early lead. And he's being chased right now by the 125 of Daniel Blair, who takes the lead. Remember, only the top 2 will transfer.
Wow, and this is exactly what Blair needed, just a twist of fate after when he had that bad stroke of luck there in the heat race. Okay, something happened here.
Red flag is out at the start-finish jump. There you see, finish jump. Oh, and one rider crashing over the finish jump. And then diving over the tough blocks to get out of the way. Boy, this one just...
This has been exciting all the way around.
A crazy last chance qualifier. Goes all the way back to the start with the gate holding.
Well, and if we went back to that earlier shot when we were focused on Gerke, we seen him actually, when he was focused with the throttle, the RPM's up with the clutch out, starting to slip it, we seen him look up at the 30-second board and then look back down, and then it was a good 15 seconds after that. So that was a long hold. Something's wrong.
That's Mark Grady, who crashed over the finish line jump. Aaron, what do you got for us?
Well, guys, I just found out from John Gallagher from the FIM that the reason why they red flagged that was some rider was actually sitting on the gate somehow, some way. They weren't sure, but the gate wasn't dropping. So instead, they're giving everybody a fair chance, and they'd like to restart this race.
Interesting. Grady, though, going down there over the finish line jump, he may need some bike repairs to get that going.
Here's a look at the red flag rule. Less than 3 laps completed. Racers lined up by their starting order. If we completed more than 3 laps, racers restart from their race positions of the past lap, and there were 75% of the laps completed. You can see what they would do there. Of course, we didn't even complete really the first lap. This is it's the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Series, but it is an FIM World Championship, and that's why Aaron mentioned John Gallagher's name. He is here. He is the representative for Supercross for Fédération Internationale du Motorcycle.
Very nice.
You like that?
Oui.
I didn't think I could pull that one off, did you? I wasn't so sure myself. But actually,
they work in coordination with the American Motorcyclists Association, yeah. So
you'll see both officials walking around with all the right shirts on and the proper logos, and they're all down there.
We really have a dedicated crew in that arena. They do a great job in such a difficult, sport here where so much happens and there's so much controversy in Supercross, and these rulings on, just a number of different things are very challenging for the organizations.
How happy is Nico Izzy on that number 20 to see this get started again?
Yeah, he started 5th, which wasn't great. It wasn't bad. He wasn't on the ground. I definitely think that he has the speed to come through the pack from 10th, 12th, somewhere around in there. But any position further back than that, it's going to make it real tough, because these LCQs, especially in the lights, because these riders are the more inexperienced Supercross riders that we have, nerves are a little higher. They tend to make a lot of mistakes. And then the LCQ, only 2 spots left, 20 riders on the gate. You can imagine what it's like out there being mixed up in all of that.
You know, there's a big party going on here inside the Georgia Dome, and we're glad to have all those Supercross parties taking place at all different houses and restaurants all across the country enjoying our live show. We saw a lot of folks, heard from a lot of folks that was going to be taking place tonight, and we're glad to have you all with us. Hope you're enjoying our second live broadcast of Monster Energy Supercross competition this year here on Speed.
So here we go, second chance at the LCQ. This is where those riders that went down on the first lap or in the first turn, oh, thank you, thank you. I get another chance at it, but they have to execute this. Doesn't mean that the nerves aren't there, maybe even a little more nervous for certain riders.
Well, you better get it right this time, too, because this is the final chance to pull it off. Watch the 521 bike, the AMA coming over. Pulling him out.
Uh-oh.
That's what we talked about.
Something's going on there.
Something wrong with that bike. There's a 30-second board, Jeff. She'll turn it sideways, head for the sidelines, and then supposedly within 30 seconds, anywhere the starter feels like, and he's sitting inside the doghouse in the center.
Yeah,
he can drop that gate and off he goes.
And it's random. They definitely try to switch it up on the riders once the board goes sideways.
Oh, no, he's back. Look at that. 521 is back.
He's back in. Let's look for a hole shot from the 521.
Kyle Gills. Coming up through the inside. Everybody gets through. Farrell. Now they stack up big time. And it's Izzy. Boy, did that restart pay off for him.
And it didn't for Blair. This is Daniel Blair. Holding that right-hand arm area.
We got 5 riders.
Remember, he was leading at the first lap before the restart.
Yeah, he sure was. Chad Ward on the 321 caught up in that as well. And Izzy starting to pull away.
This is just what Izzy needs here to get his night back on track. Such a difficult day for him so far. He just wants to get it in the main. He doesn't care how fast he goes or how big a lead he has. And watch everyone over the first double. Blair gets landed on. And 1, 2, 3, 4 riders stack it up.
Boy, they just piled into him.
There's another replay with a second place start. Wow.
That was the 831 Orion Smith who was running in second, and then the 34 machine having his problems, Matt Gerke as well.
And Gerke takes the position there and then gives it away on the first lap. So Gerke just really can't get it going here. He's going to need to do something special because right now, Daly, 309, has the position.
Yep, remember, just 2 riders will transfer out of this to the main. And it looks like Izzy's got a fairly comfortable 5-second lead right now. So it's going to be this battle for second that's going to decide who else goes. 3 riders pretty much battling over it right now. Gerke in there in the 34. He's quickly closed back up on these guys, Jeff.
He's working hard. There's not much time. He cannot afford to make any more mistakes.
He's on Steve Roman right now, and that's 731. Roman on the Kawasaki. Gerke on the Suzuki City backed entry. And he's got to get around these guys in a hurry, Jeff. We're halfway through this one. You can't waste too much time.
Well, and to put it into perspective, Daly was 25th qualifier. Yeah.
That's going to help him right there. Those 2 got stuck up on the outside, and here comes Gerke blasting right through the whoops. Suddenly he's in second, clear track in front of him. That should secure the position for him.
Well, and like I was going to say, to put it into perspective, Daly, who had the position, 25th fastest qualifier, okay, and Gerke inside the top 10 and 7, so you can see the sense of urgency for a championship contender like Gerke to get that position.
There's Nico Izzy. Now he's just got to finish it off. Finished 3rd at Houston.
Well, the Suzuki guys definitely have to be breathing a sigh of relief as 2 of their young top stars here are, as it appears on the final lap, to be in qualifying position, but I'm not giving it to anyone until this race is over. The way that this LCQ has gone, it's been filled with excitement.
Final lap here. Gerke was 10th, by the way, at Houston. Everybody chased Purcell to the line on that night.
He was much faster than 10th at Houston, though. He was really on the gas.
Bit of a mistake there by Izzy. You saw his feet coming off the pegs, through that deep sand one more time over the Dragon's back. A little more sand, plodding his way through there. There's the checkered flag and a win for Nico Izzy in the last chance qualifier. And it looks like Matt Gerke is going to take his Suzuki City bike on to the main as well. So those two will take the last two spots in the main event here tonight.
And that's pretty impressive. Gerke was on the ground in a 4-lap LCQ and still managed to claw his way into that final transfer spot.
So Izzy gets a little bit of the momentum he was hoping for. They'll go back and ready for the lights main event. We got a Supercross class LCQ to do first. Strategy Supercross is a pit party, and the one inside the Georgia Dome was huge today.
Supercross! Atlanta Supercross.
It was a good time. Jeff, you and I had a lot of fun at the pit party today.
Tons of photos, tons of autographs. Really, the fans were treated to an awesome pit party, and now they've been treated to some really exciting racing so far.
And look how packed this Georgia Dome is. Whoa,
pretty cool.
Man, it's a massive crowd inside here, all the way up to the rafters, and that's our RoboCam, which one of our technicians crawled up onto the roof to mount high above the stadium floor here.
Well, it's had that type of feeling, like that Super Bowl type of vibe, you know, Daytona 500 type of energy, and I think that's why we're seeing such great racing.
Riders definitely feeling it. I know we've been feeling it. It's been a great night. Of course, there's a lot of more Supercross racing to go this season. Let's check in before we drop the gate on the LCQ with Aaron Bates.
The number 27 of Nick Way is expecting substantial improvements this week. They put in a brand new motor package into his bike, but also he hired himself a new man friend, and that's Nathan Ramsey, to actually watch video, try to just improve him, motivate him, get him going, and keep him focused on exactly what it is that he needs to focus on. He said, expect big things. He loves this dome. Big things should happen for Nick Way.
Well, and having Nathan Ramsey on your side, former Supercross Lights champion. He's won Supercross main event, tons of experience. Nathan Ramsey's a great guy. I really think that would be a great addition to Nick Way's program.
Nathan would be a great addition to anybody's program.
Yeah.
Competed for some 15 years on the pro level, one of the best riders in the business, a real fan favorite.
Hell of a dancer.
Very good. Really good. Getting ready for the last chance qualifier. 2 more spots open here in the main event for the Supercross class. And Cody Cooper is in this one too on the Joe Gibbs machine.
It's stacked. I'm telling you, there's some great guys in there. Rockstar Makita Suzuki, our onboard camera from earlier in the show. Michael Byrne, that's just south of here in Noonan. He's actually in the LCQ. This is only his second race back after that broken wrist.
And Eric Sorby on the MDK Motorsports machine.
He always makes it interesting.
I should say on his Yamaha, he does a lot of stuff with the Joe Gibbs guys.
Yeah, there's some good guys in here and only 2 spots.
Sliding through and taking the position, Nick Way, or I should say Summy on the 28. Way's right behind him on the 27.
That was Cody Cooper on the Yamaha. Oh, he drops back
and Heath Voss,
positions.
Heath Voss on the 13 moves up into second place. There you see Way on the 27.
Oh, and Summy makes a big mistake. We've seen him take a huge get off in practice in that same spot, but he has the position that each rider wants in this LCQ. He's out front, but Heath Voss and Nick Way are going to have something to say about it.
Boy, Voss stands it right up on the nose on that front wheel, and that allows Nick Way to come by. Here comes Jeff Alessi on the 801, trying to join his brother in the main event as they come to the finish line jump.
And Michael Byrne, with a horrible start all the way up to 5th place here. Remember, they only take 2. All 5 riders here, very competitive.
Summy and Way, the top 2 right now.
Take a look here. This is Heath Voss scooting off this tabletop, comes up a little short, and actually he wanted to grab some front brake there, but he had to lay off it. That gives Nick Way the position just to the inside.
Former world Supercross champion Heath Voss on the number 13.
So Michael Byrne has gotten past Jeff Alessi. He's just behind Voss.
Yeah, but he's going to have to get around Voss and then Way. There you see Byrne on that number 26 Rockstar Makita Suzuki machine.
The third's not going to get it done for either one of these riders. They need the position that Nick Way has. 3 laps down of 6, so the halfway point.
They have to dispose of these guys quickly. Summy running some pretty good laps down to a 50.5. About a 2+ second gap between him and Nick Way. But it looks like working with Nathan Ramsey is really helping Nick Way.
No doubt about it. He's focused here in this LCQ. It's we don't normally see Nick Way in the LCQ, but when you are here, you really have to get focused, no mistakes. You have to be conscious of, like in his position, where the leader is and where the rider behind you in third is. Try to not make any mistakes, because a little slip up could cost you that final position into the main event.
Nick Way has a pair of top 10 finishes this year. It's his best ever. A 9th at the season opener in Anaheim and a 9th at our last round in San Diego. Trying to build on that momentum here tonight.
Halfway point. Top 4 have really stabilized. Top 5, I should say. Alessi's right there. Jace Lewis in 6th, but well out of qualifying position.
And that's the problem. If you're trying to get around one of these top 2 guys to get a win, you can't stabilize inside the top 5. You got to be on the move.
You absolutely have to go for it, and that's where Michael Byrne, he moved from pretty far back up to this 4th place position.
Yeah, he's around Voss, but he's still got to get a little, or I used to say he's around Alessi, yeah. But he's got to get around Voss here in a hurry.
Here's Byrne trying to sneak on the inside of Voss. There's only going to be 2 laps for him to do this next time around.
And then, you know, just getting around Voss is just part of the problem. You got to chase down Way and then find a way around him.
So third's not going to get it done. The 26, Michael Byrne needs 2 spots. Voss needs 1. You can see both riders here have just kind of been staying right there, evenly paced between Way. So Michael Byrne, the rider that really has to pick it up. Voss trying to hold on here to 3rd as Byrne are starting to apply the pressure, but problem is both riders out of qualifying position.
Here he comes. He finished 8th in San Diego a week ago. Voss right there. Voss was 13th in San Diego. His best finish of the year was a 7th, or actually was 15th in San Diego.
Here goes Byrne to the
season
inside.
opener. Here comes Byrne. Right there. Can't get it done yet.
Mouthful of sand.
And Jeffy's going to have 1 lap to get 2 spots. That's going to be tough.
Going to be tough for either one of these riders, as Nick Way is riding just a superb race. And we cannot forget about Charles Summy, who is out front on that KTM, really putting in a phenomenal ride. Got the start, has been able to ride this race at his pace. Exactly what he wanted to do here to make it into the main in what could be considered his local race, as he's from North Carolina.
Summy working his way through some of the traffic, trying to put this one away.
I'm sure he's got lots of family and friends here. They're going to be real proud of Summy, as he's, with just a few turns to go, look like he is going to be in the main event.
Charles Summy working his way through the sand for the final time, on his way to the checkered flag. It's his first last chance qualifier win of the season. Charles Summy takes the win. He's going to the main, and Nick Way's going to join him there.
Heartbreak for Voss and Michael Byrne, who put in such great rides, were expected to be in the main event. Wow.
Well, the main events are now set for both the lights and the Supercross class. We'll be right back to get you set for the main events, which are coming up from Atlanta.